I'm not cinched, I've just got a fat ass. And I'm Alesha Tryed.
I'm the missing apostrophe on Ellie's mirror and Kylie Minogue's body double. I'm Julia Morris.
Hi sister, do you fancy a blowy? I'm Bondi.
And it's time for episode 7 of 2.5
Queens.
Hi and thanks for joining us for episode 7 of 2.5 Queens, the show where we talk about everything RuPaul's Drag Race UK, Series 2.
On today's episode, we'll be going into the lockdown SHE-ROES, which is where our queens had to make outfits out of unconventional items. And we'll be talking about that lip sync choice.
Don't get me started. Now we're getting down to the wire. It is 6 queens left. Last week we saw Frizz from Corrie send home at Tia Coffee. We're serving you black and gold today in the style of Sam Sparrow.
Black and gold. I got tits.
We have.
Wonk wonk.
Just to let you know.
Wah wah.
The nipples are the eyes of the face.
And I've got plenty. Let me sip my Kylie wine. We are drinking Kylie wine, £15 a bottle at Morrison's.
I'm drinking vodka.
Not sponsored, but if you want to, we will.
Please
We're
give
not
me.
fuming.
I don't have that furlough
Please.
pay to be buying Kylie
Please,
wine.
Kylie, refund this drag queen some money.
We should be so lucky.
I'm gonna need to.
I hate you. I want you to know that.
But yeah, we returned from last week's episode, and the queens are starting to discuss who is next on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
In previous episodes, it's been Tia Coffee this, Tia Coffee that, but with Tia gone, it's now Ellie that they're accusing of coasting. Do you really think Ellie's been coasting?
I think for the past couple of weeks, Ellie has not been missing the mark. I think she's kind of been giving complete looks and has been okay.
Okay,
Very
yeah.
a safe queen. And I guess you could call a safe queen coasting.
Since we've come back from COVID,
Yeah.
Ellie hasn't been in the top at all, so that is
Yeah.
probably what's fresh in their mind, that Ellie's had a couple of weeks of just not really accelerating.
I think about Ellie is she's giving it, looking great on that runway every week. It's just that in the challenges they've been asked to do so far, they're not her strong suit. So where she's great on the runway, maybe the challenge lets her down and she comes out safe. Whereas the other girls, they maybe don't turn looks that are as polished as Ellie's, but it's still good. And in the challenge, they're great.
Yeah.
And they come out on top. And that's not to say Ellie's doing a bad job. It's just that Ellie's strengths sometimes are outweighed by other people's victories.
It's time for our beloved reading challenge.
The
Now,
British Library is open.
this was better than season 1, I would say, in terms of reading. I thought
Yep.
we did a lot better. Who
Yeah.
who made you laugh the most?
Lawrence.
Yeah,
Lawrence
was
made me
funny.
laugh. And I think Sister
Agreed,
Sister
yeah.
made me laugh. I just really enjoy how, compared to the US girls are always like, oh mama, that, but like the British girls are just like, I want to throw a brick in your face.
The British
Very
girls are
bad.
like, I hate you, jump in the river.
Jump
Yeah,
in,
drown.
drown in the Thames, I
Yeah.
want to throw a brick at your face,
Yeah.
die. Very,
And
very
we love to see it.
I mean, they say that to me every day.
I mean, you've got a break for a face, we don't need to throw it. My favourite read was probably Lawrence's to Ellie, saying that she was so dumb that she had to revise for her COVID test.
Yeah.
But I think my favourite overall was Sister. I think
Yeah.
across the mark, all of Sister's landed.
Yeah, my favourite delivery was Bimini's brick in the face.
It's just the way Bimini say things is just so like,
Yeah, I stand
yeah.
Bimini anyway, which we know.
yeah.
Good for Sister though. I mean, we really saw a strength in Sister that clearly pre-prepared comedy
Yeah.
is something that she does quite well
A
at.
bit of Sister's personality arrived today.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think Sister's humour is actually quite deadpan, which suits itself well to reading.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the Maxi challenge for this week, which is a design challenge, an
Yes.
unconventional materials challenge,
Mm.
where they are designing outfits using stuff that would probably be associated with lockdown, which
yeah.
is very topical. It really tests the girls' like creativity and their sewing. After episode 3, who are you expecting to struggle for this challenge?
Taste, I mean, we all said Taste's look was okay, but now, like, compared to the people who are actually in at the moment who are seamstresses and can sew, Taste can't sew.
I was immediately concerned for Taste and Bimini.
Me too. Because I kept in mind, and it was mentioned in this episode, that Ahura did a lot of Tayce's outfit last time. It helped Tayce big time. And it was kind of implied that she would not be doing so.
I mean, last time Ahura could probably whip things up quickly because it's fabric, so they used to do it with fabric. But this probably takes a lot more time, so Ahura can't afford to dedicate her time.
Yeah.
I bet she spent quite a lot of it just sat on the table having a good chin wag.
She was across that table, like,
and snooping around trying to get stuff from her sisters
on
behind
the
the
head.
rail.
She was offering people blowjobs.
she carried this episode.
She really did. So let's welcome to the workroom the iconic queen of season 2 and All Stars 1, Miss Raven, looking snatched as ever, the makeup queen.
Yes.
I love the advice she gave to Lawrence, because I don't know if we've ever thought about this with Lawrence's mug. I love Lawrence's mug, but as soon as Raven pointed it out, I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
And as soon as she said it, I went to look at Lawrence's Instagram, and I was like, she still does it.
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Lawrence's makeup suits.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I thought it was
It's something that only somebody who does makeup could have noticed.
True.
I mean, I do makeup and I didn't even notice. So
You do?
I think this is what Lawrence said. If anybody had said it, she would have been like on your bike. But because it was Raven,
You listen to Raven, don't you?
listen to Raven.
I mean, if I was Lawrence, I would listen to Raven. Raven is an iconic Scotsman. You know, really revolutionised the BBC back in the day.
Yeah.
I was like,
Led the game show game.
I was like, Raven, and then I was like, a Raven.
I wasn't expecting that at all. So in this week's edition of Emotional Mirror Message, it's time for Lawrence Chaney to open up a bit about his childhood. So we're covering this time sort of the childhood bullying and how you apply humour to it.
Yeah.
Is this something you can really relate to? Like, has bullying affected you and how you've grown from it?
It's a difficult one, and it's something that's like not really confronted on television a lot, and not really with people. I know there's a lot of like, not only just queer people, but people who do get bullied in school for being different. And even for me personally, it's like, if you are different, you become a target on your back. And the way that people can do this is to either run away from it and just kind of hide to the end of the school year, which was me. I never really confronted it. I just kind of hid it. They were like, are you gay? I'm like, me? And then I'll just run away.
When you're that age, you want to be like everyone else. You want to fit in. Like, I was never bullied as such, but I remember thinking, why am I this way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just be like all the other boys? Because there wasn't anyone like me in my year, and then it was like, I had friends, and I wasn't. I was with the musical girls and gays.
Come on, musical girls.
But the hardest thing for me was as well that I knew that there were other boys like me, but they weren't given the same treatment that I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is that happening?
There was one particular boy, and I do remember him, whenever I used to walk past on the way from school, we used to make quips about, are you a queer, are you this and that? And I remember him being moved behind me in one lesson of maths, just for one lesson.
Yeah.
And he was sat there the whole lesson going, queer, and sort of whispering behind me. And the people next to me thought it was funny because they liked him, but they also liked me. So I felt comfortable sort of turning around, and I just remember saying to him, it's really strange that you have such an obsession with gays. I'd be quite worried if I was your friend.
Is he gay now?
No, he's not, as far as I'm aware.
But he has such an obsession.
But like, I always knew that I was quite lucky because it was only one person. But I do think about how it's affected me going forward.
Yeah.
And I do think it's the humour thing that I find interesting, because I think I'm very quick with my humour to speak about myself before someone else can make the joke about me first. So even today, I've already messaged someone taking a piss of my own fringe just in case someone does it first. So it's time to hit the runway, and it's amazing to see RuPaul in a gown!
Oh my
Thank
god!
you. I can only assume that you're subscribed and watching this channel. So I understand.
I see you in the comments.
We do take credit.
We
take credit.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She heard.
Gorgeous.
And Ru looked fantastic. The hair, the mug. I mean, obviously Raven was like, I'm not playing today.
I never doubt the hair in the mug. Like, at this point, I'm just like, I know it's going to be good. Even if it's not to my personal taste, it's still going to be great. So it's time to hit the runway. Power, superheroes, SHE-ROES. And we've got Taste up first, and she is Exfoliana Bolt.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
With our favourite gold scours.
Scour?
Scour?
Not a
Scour? I barely know her.
This look, it wasn't brilliant. No, but all seriousness, I understand why Taste wanted to go for this because gold would look lovely.
It did.
On such a beautiful skin tone that she has. The problem is that it's so thin. So how it might read in person, the wire is so thin that it's, as Michelle pointed out, that it shows gaps everywhere that it isn't because it's not a thick enough fabric to fill gaps.
Yeah.
And so I actually like the construction of what she did. It was a lot more playful than what Bag of Chips did last year. It wasn't just built over a corset. There was clear effort put in, but it just read not great, and there was nothing on the bottom half. I can't believe they didn't mention how visible the tucking tape was.
She made a top.
Maybe she, obviously, because, you know, she cut her hand off, that's why she didn't have no time to make a bottom.
Well, I don't think that's why. I think it's just because she didn't have a horror.
I was going to say, Ahora's alluded to the fact
She was
that
looking at
had plenty of
Aurora
time.
and she was like, "I will tongue your ass again if you come and fix my barnet."
It was a nice top.
It was nice.
And like my Ajama said, maybe a skirt with it would have been nice Taste, but you know, maybe next time. Maybe on All Stars, babes.
So the next one down the runway was Lawrence Chaney as Lawrence of Chania, who was dressed very blue. I want an idea of how you felt about this look.
Not this.
It was fun. They sold it with the funny and the feather duster and the characteristics. Lawrence is very good at being, you know, an extra character. So
adding a touch of whimsy, as they love to say.
Yeah, a touch of whimsy.
I really appreciated that it was something that we've not seen from Lawrence yet.
Agreed.
A sort of silhouette.
It was a silhouette that was like, okay, nice. And there were touches of Lawrence in it, like the hair was very Lawrence.
Yeah.
Obviously the makeup, stunning, very Lawrence. But she was trying new things this week, and I really appreciated it. And I love the outfit.
It was solidly safe, wasn't it? Just all that set it apart from my top two was that you could tell it was IKEA bags, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like she did a really good job of constructing it from what it was, but the ones who exceeded best were the ones who made it look like fabric. And I don't think she made it look like that. It looked like a bodysuit made out of IKEA very well.
Right, next down stage is my arch nemesis. Ahura. Because I am the bitch on the right.
You are the bitch on the right.
You are the bitch on the right.
You know what?
Show the tweet.
Last episode, the horror didn't say anything about a fashion degree, but you were sure that it was like, take a shot every time a horror says fashion degree.
But I wouldn't have been that drunk. She only mentioned it once this episode. Anyway, COVID-19 now. One of the best looks that has been on this season so far.
On Drag Race UK so far.
Oh, yeah, season 1 and 2.
UK so far,
When she came out, and it was already impressive when she walked around the corner.
Yeah.
The sleeves that came forward,
the sleeves, the look, the hair.
I just thought COVID-19 and more like COVID murdered me. But this is what I needed.
So I think Maya Jama mentioned it slightly, saying something about, we love a glittery mask, but it was almost like a homage to Sister.
That's exactly what I was gonna say! I think she did that on purpose.
Yeah, it was like a full circle moment.
Rob, I don't care what you've got to say. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
no, I'm just lapping it up. I'm just lapping up.
Rob is
love.
feeling vindicated now.
I'm feeling vindicated because it's time we notice that Ahura is a starter legend and she is the moment. Now
Come on now.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
So yes, she did the damn thing. My favourite look of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2.
Mine too.
Period, and it's made from unconventional materials.
Yeah.
Pop those sleeves out and I went, ah! Like I actually gay screamed.
Yeah,
it was a gay scream moment.
And you know a good grace.
Oh, and then everything was amazing. Everything was amazing. Oh, I'm actually, in the words of a horror, when this look came out, I was like, I could just come.
Ahura, I might be falling for you, babe.
It's a proud moment to be the patron saint of the Horror fan club.
Moving on from Ahura is Abimini.
I didn't mind it. I don't really know what to think about it. There's elements I like and there's elements I don't. I think Bimini is very good at just draping some fabric over her and making it look fashion.
Yes.
But maybe that's just a credit to Bimini. I really don't know how I feel. I just don't know that. I know that I'm not wowed by it.
I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I got the references because it did look. I don't know if I have told you this, but I studied arts. And I 3D printed this on a machine with I got a fashion degree. But I did a bit of Vivian Westwood's study, and I instantly saw it. And when Maya said it on the runway, I thought, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The draping and the pattern itself was very Vivian. And to be fair, just the way that Bimini presented it with the makeup, the hair, the walk, I liked it.
The paper, was it, that was added on. I don't know if it was needed. I agree with, like, it was like a bit too long, which I know is really odd because they love a good gown to the floor.
Well, RuPaul doesn't.
Well, so I think Bimini looked beat in the face. Bimini's makeup since coming back from COVID is fantastic. Bimini's face looks
It's the new face.
amazing.
It
It's
is.
the new face.
Well,
It's the new
before
me.
they looked great as well.
It's the new me.
So moving on to the penultimate queen, who is Ellie Diamond, coming down as Exuberant Ellie. The worst superhero name, but that doesn't matter at all.
What's the word? Give us the word.
Extravagant, like.
What I'm seeing post-COVID with Ellie is that she's come back with a renewed sense of confidence.
Agreed.
Yeah.
She's gone home, she's learned maybe how to sew more, she's got more confidence in her drag. She was very confident before, but I'm really enjoying Ellie now. She's clapping back at the other queens. She is coming out on the runway, giving us different things to what we had before the COVID break. And I really enjoyed this look actually because it was still very Ellie.
Yeah.
With the colours, with the palettes, with the material she used. But she gave us something completely different that we've not seen before on the runway at all, and especially from Ellie.
Yes.
And I loved it.
I absolutely adored the look. I don't agree with some of the other queens' critiques where they were saying it looked a bit messy. I think it looked well done.
Me too.
I think it
Agreed.
looked fantastic. And Ellie, when Ellie was talking to the judges, showed the extra levels that Ellie went to by putting like
Lifting
a
that, yeah.
pillow
Mhm.
underneath. Like, it takes a certain type of designer, because I'm not even going to say that the queen, they're a designer,
Agreed.
to look at a garment and say, okay, I need to add this to it to make it look like this on the runway.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I think I've been quite harsh on Ellie in the past few weeks, but she's one of those queens who I'm harsh on because I see so much potential.
Because you know
Yeah.
that she could do
I
amazingly.
see so much potential.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a realization of that potential, which is even more incredible when you consider that it's unconventional materials.
Yes.
When I felt like she really came into her own. It's no surprise to me, if you know me, I am a huge Katy Perry fan. And this gave me the
We know you.
This gave me the complete confection. It was a teenage dream, all of the puns, all of the above, tick, tick, tick. So maybe it wasn't the most fashion, which is why she didn't win. It had elements of maybe a bit kiddie, but I've always found whimsical.
Oh, I thought it
But
was.
I've always found Ellie's whole aesthetic to be quite cartoonish, and
Yes.
this fitted in with that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was fashion.
But when you compare it to Aurora's, if you were going to pick a winner, Aurora's is something you could see
Oh,
down a runway. I don't think
100%.
you see Ellie's down a runway.
But are you suggesting that it needs to be a runway to win?
When you're up against Ahura, yes.
So, moving on to our last queen, which was the queen that had the 15-second advantage and had done quite well in the last design challenge. It was Sister Sister as the Garden of Shedon.
I would say this look was everything, and by that I mean everything was on it. But that was not a good thing. There was parts of it I didn't hate, but it took me back to Jiggly Caliente, Jade Jolie, that whole idea of just, I can't do anything, so I'm just going to throw everything on it.
Everything but the
And
kitchen
hope for
sink.
the best.
Yeah.
To quote the great philosopher and lyricist Cheryl Tweedy, too much of anything can make you sick. Even the good can be a curse.
No.
Sister has proclaimed that she's very conceptual, she's very creative, blah, blah, blah. And I just think the past few weeks we've not seen that from Sister,
Yeah.
and this wasn't an exception because I think someone who really thinks things through and knows what they're going to do, and this isn't a dig on Sister, by the way, because the pressure of this competition, we have to remember, must be massive. So you've got to think, I'm going on the runway, so let's just do everything. But Sister, I don't think we're getting what we were sold. Because this didn't scream conceptual to me, it sort of screamed panic. I've got these things, gonna throw them on and then see what I can call it.
I really enjoyed the making the idea and the making of the flowers,
Mhm.
but it was a lot. As soon as Sister came onto the runway, I was like, oh, that is busy, and I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't even see Sister. I was just this tiny face. There was hardly any silhouette. It was taken over by these large objects.
So let's head to Untucked.
Our favourite part.
Our
really
favourite
is.
part. The drama has lessened over the weeks.
Yeah.
But it's part 2 of the let's shit all over Ellie Diamond, even though she's doing really well part of the show.
Yeah.
Do you think these girls at this point are just looking for people to take down?
Yeah.
Because we're at this point where they all are so close to the final that they can smell it.
I think in Ellie they sense. She's 20. She's 21.
Yeah.
She's 21, so they're coming for blood after a 21-year-old. But also I think they see someone who is a threat because she's so young.
Yeah.
You know, she's turning out looks on that runway that would have put them all to shame, except from Ahura.
We definitely can see it from Taste. Taste is definitely being a little bit more sharp and a little bit more like.
We haven't seen Taste like this before, really.
Yeah. Because I think Taste has felt like. I think the first time Taste lip sync was like, okay, it's a bump in the road.
Yes.
But getting so close to the final, it's almost like you want to avoid the bottom as much as possible because you've gone past the prospect of, well, do you know, I've had a nice time. The finals come in.
A winner rarely has 2 lip syncs, do they?
No.
Yeah.
It's very rare. So, but
Sasha Velour.
and again, like, look, I don't want to shit on her because it's her last week, but it was. Well, one of the main people putting the dagger into Ellie was again Sister, and at this point,
the curious case of Sister being like, oh, you're not feeling that great? Let me tell you.
At this point, I don't even think it's Sister being rude. I'll put it down to one word, and that one word is deflection.
Deflection. She's feeling very threatened.
Yeah.
She's thinking, again, I've not had the comments that I wanted. The other girls got what I wanted, so I'm going to take it out on them. So when you're there competing on national television, you do things that aren't yourself.
Yeah.
You act ways that aren't yourself, and I think Sister has fallen victim to that this whole series.
But let's just say, Ellie Diamond has no time for it.
Thank God.
Thank God.
She was so right to stand up for
Ellie
herself.
Diamond was like, you know, Sister was like, your outfit's like this, your outfit's a mess. It's like, well, that's what the judges said to you.
Not me.
Not me. I was fine.
Ellie really said,
Ellie.
look at yourself before you try and come for me.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, I love to see it.
Do you know what I'm gutted about?
What?
Tell me.
If we'd have just kept her one more week, I have no doubt that we'd have just seen Tia wearing 3 She would probably have just worn 3 spa bags down the runway and gone, there's my look, is it alright?
Yeah.
She would have said, I'm going to create a shape this week, and I'm going to look great, and I'm going to give the judges exactly what they
step it
want
up,
from
I'm gonna
me, I'm going to
step it
step
up.
it up, and I'm not going to disappoint them again. And then she would have stepped out there in a bag for life.
Are you sure?
So the winner of this week's challenge is
Ahura.
Ahura. Was she a winner?
100%.
Was she a
It
winner?
was a horrors episode and we were just living in it.
Yes!
It's a horror of the world and we're just living in it.
Alright,
Well,
don't go too far.
And it was easy to decide that she was our winner. A more pressing question, can she win this now?
No.
No.
Yes. I'm gonna put my theorist hat on here. Final 4, they're gonna put Ahura and Taste against one another. Make the housemates battle. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Housemates,
We better get
licking
into it.
mates.
So obviously moving on from potential lip syncs to current lip syncs, let's talk about our bottom 2, which is Sister and Taste. Do you agree?
Yes. Do you know what? I liked both of their outfits, but they were the weakest. And that's not me being shady. That's T. Do you think Taste would get let into Sexy Fish in London?
Well, Sexy Fish in London. Talking of Sexy Fish in London, let's get into the lip sync choice. Now, Rob, last week you mentioned about how you would like something current. And
Upbeat.
something- Yeah. Did Jess Glynn?
This was a homophobic attack.
This is a hate crime. This is a hate crime against all 3 of us and every single viewer of the show.
Yeah, it became personally offensive, and I believe it is a hate crime, and I'd like to report it.
Yeah, I'm happy that you found a way to laugh, but like, I can't laugh through this trauma. Like, Jess fucking Glynn on my RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't fucking think.
I never thought I'd see the day, haven't we?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Someone's about to go home. Of course they're going to be fucking hard on themselves, Jess Glynn.
They were singing it like, don't be so hard, don't be so... Is that just your reaction to Jess Glynn?
It's
But
Kylie
what-
Wine.
But why? And Jess Glynn.
Do you like that?
I love it.
You're a fucking psychopath.
So let's talk the actual lip sync. I'm just going to totally disregard the song for a moment. Just like, forget that bullshit. What did we actually think of the lip sync?
Basic.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a difficult song to sing to. It's mid-tempo. You can't do a lot.
To be fair to them, neither of them could move very much.
True.
Taste was going to cut her whole body up.
Yeah.
Her sister was in that. She wasn't going to shed any of those decorations.
Taste attempted a death drop.
Oh, the worst death drop of all time. But I'm not going to hold that against Taste because I love the way she lip syncs. But
Also,
don't have a death drop
kicking those
again.
legs.
If she did it properly, she would have died on that stage of bleeding.
I feel like it could have been a better lip sync, but I have to say there's something weird about the editing because I could see when Taste was at the back, Lawrence was like, and all we got to see was Sister. They kept showing so much of Sister, and in the back you could see they were gagged at Taste.
Yeah.
So I felt like I got to see like 30% of Taste.
Yeah.
And what she did was really good.
And Taste won.
And she won.
Normally you
But
show
like I
more of
didn't
the
get to
winning
see
one.
enough of what she did, but like
Yeah.
I have no doubt that she won because she did well at the 30% I saw. We still got to keep Taste, so Taste is through to the final 5.
Yes, final
We
5
lose
now.
Sister. I actually want to say this episode is the best Sister has come across in 7 episodes. I
Is
feel
it?
like I finally got to understand
Yeah.
the humour. The editing was more on her side because they actually showed her.
This episode, I feel like Sister was allowed to be herself a bit more.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think Sister has ended this competition with her head held high. I think, do you know what? It has been a difficult ride for Sister
Yes.
showing this, and I think the editing hasn't really let us into the Sister fantasy too
Agreed.
much.
And we move forward to next week,
So,
where we are
yes.
faced with 5 queens. So we're going to hit a comedy challenge, which is fresh for Drag Race UK.
I'm
very excited.
And
Yeah.
we're joined by the icon, the legend, Dawn Fresh.
I am obsessed with Dawn French. My mum actually reminds me a bit of Dawn French. She has a little
I
bit.
can
And
see that.
she's called Dawn herself, so she got that. Like, Dawn, if you are watching this, I know you don't because you don't have to use YouTube.
Which Dawn?
But my mum Dawn.
Right. I thought
And
you were
Dawn French as well.
So if you want to support us, please hit the subscribe button down below. We're still
Yeah.
campaigning for 100.
Nearly there, we're nearly there.
Nearly there.
And please follow us on Instagram as well at
Yeah.
2.5 Queens because we love to see your support there.
Yeah, give us our love, give us our likes. Let us know in the comments as well what you're thinking. We obviously said you
Like Madonna
black and
said.
gold tonight.
She said, "Give me all your loving."
Give me all your loving.
Give me all your love it, and we're
LUV
hung up on you.
Tuesdays.
So we love that you've come to support us again, and we hope you've enjoyed this episode 7 of 2.5 Queens, and we'll see you next week with all the comedy, all the tomfoolery, all of the buffoonery. But we've been Black and Gold. We've been 2.5 Queens. Good night.
And I'm Sam Sparrow.
And this was £15 rosé.